Neal Isaacs, the Raleigh business broker, coming to you with more content for business owners, for business buyers, and advisors of businesses. I am a small business transaction specialist, and I love talking deals. Today, I'm going to break down the anatomy of a business buyer. What is a good business buyer? In my role as an intermediary, we call it buyer consultations, buyer diagnostics. We represent business sellers, and then as a result, we attract business buyers, and then we want to decide if they're the one, if they're worth introducing to our business owner clients, the business sellers, and if it's a good fit. We're matchmakers. So if you're watching this, maybe you're a business buyer, maybe you're a business owner, want to talk to business buyers, or maybe you're an advisor and you just want to understand how this process works. Take what I share, my perspective as a broker, and apply it to you, to your perspective. I hope you can take something from this. I want to give you four tips here when we're having conversations with business buyers. That's framing our conversation, what we're listening for. We call them red flags or green flags. The four, I'll start with the first one, and it is, are they laser focused? Number one, laser focused on a singular opportunity. So internally, we have a term, it's called repeat offender. And what that means is sometimes we text alerts, we get all types of notifications when a buyer says, I want to learn more about this business. Often we know right away, that's Bob something, Bob Buyer. They've inquired about 27 businesses that we had for sale, and they haven't taken further steps on any of them. They don't return emails. They just like to inquire about businesses, or even worse, they like to inquire and ask lots of questions, but they never ever commit to buying a single business. And they're still at their day job, and this has been going on for years, right? We'll treat them with respect, but we will also manage our time and focus on other buyers that are more focused. Our favorite buyers call in and they say, you have the business I've been looking for. I was born to do this business. My unique skill set fits this business. I am so glad I found this. And let's talk about this business. Another thing, if you're a buyer, here's a little thing that grinds our gears as brokers. Sometimes we have a wonderful conversation with a business buyer, and we'll invest lots of time with a business buyer, and they end the conversation by saying, let me know what else you got. What that's telling us is they're not focused on the business that we're talking about. So, you know, we want people to be laser focused. We're matchmakers, and it's monogamy here with these businesses, right? So you can't really play the field if you're going to commit to a business. It's a big process. So number one, laser focused on a singular opportunity. Number two is a full-time commitment to entrepreneurship. And what I mean by this is you may be a serial entrepreneur, you may have multiple businesses, but we often hear business buyers say, I'm looking for passive income. I am a full-time W-2 and I want a side hustle. And, you know, I got a couple hours here and there. I just want to put my money into this business instead of the stock market. And our advice is normally put in the stock market, right? Small business is not passive income. We are listening for the business buyers that are saying, I just sold my business. All I know how to do is run businesses. I think this could be my next business. Or I already quit my job. I'm on a full-time search. I will buy something in the next 6 months. That makes a lot more sense to us than if this is right, then I'll quit my job, or I want to kind of ease into this. I'm going to buy the business, and then if it works out, I'll quit my job later. We hear that a lot. This comes back to being singularly focused, and we just want people to be all in. Entrepreneurship is scary, especially for first-time buyers. So we're listening for their risk tolerance. Buying a business, high risk, high reward, right? And you can mitigate that risk as a savvy buyer, but they're more focused on the risk than the reward is what we find a lot of times. And hey, I would be too if I worked 50 years in corporate America. I'd never owned a business. I'd be very nervous about jumping out into it. So fully committed to entrepreneurship, super important to us. The third one I want to get into here is, are they proximal to the business? Are they local? If we get 50 buyers, it's not uncommon for us to get 150 buyers. If some of them are in market and some of them are across the country, we're going to be focused on the in-market ones. And I know that sounds obvious, but you wouldn't believe how often this comes up. I'm going to relocate it for the right business. The research indicates, IBBA's research indicates that for Main Street businesses, we're talking about businesses that sell for under $500,000, even $750,000. It's like 80% of these business buyers are within 20 miles already. People will travel for bigger businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses. People will up and relocate. But if somebody's talking about relocating to a market, I'm asking them, and we have sold businesses to people from other markets. I'm asking them, have you picked a house? Have you talked to your spouse? What's your school situation for your children? These are all obstacles for somebody to move forward. They may be in a situation where they would like to relocate, but that compared to executing and the business being the final piece that they need, that's a much bigger challenge. I have sold businesses to people out of country. Those people have already isolated home housing in the market, and typically they're buying the business as a part of their relocation. But it's not like pick the business and then relocate later. If people say, anywhere in the Southeast, I'm like, okay, well, do you have family here? Is there some other reason besides the fact that our market's a great place to live that's drawing you to this market? So are they local to the business? Super important to us when we're doing our buyer diagnostics. And lastly, again, this is obvious, but it comes up if you're a business owner and you're having conversations without a broker, the path to payment. I used to have a joke that the more somebody says, don't worry about the money, the more I worry about the money, right? We want to know how they're going to buy the business. We want absolute transparency. Are you going to pay cash? Are you going to get an SBA loan? Are you going to ask the owner to seller finance? How's this going to work? Let's not wait and figure that out later. Let's not spend lots of time together with us, the broker. We wouldn't put a buyer in front of an owner unless we know they can consummate the deal. So if you're a business buyer, be prepared to share financial details, your net worth, how you're going to pay for the business. If you have bankruptcies, anything that's relevant to acquisition of a business. Part of this process is you're going to sign an NDA and you're going to get financial information from the business owner. They're going to be transparent about their financial situation. You need to do the same as well. So if buyers are quick to share their path to payment, we're respectful. We're not going to say, show us everything you got. We understand a buyer's perspective. We'll even take a letter from a banker. If a banker says, I've looked at this person's financial situation and they do have capacity and net worth to acquire a business of this size. If I get a letter like that, I will call the banker and verify it. But typically we just have people send us bank statements. Show me a bank statement with your name on it, cross out the account numbers, and we'll get past this path to payment thing. People that don't share their financial situation, we just kind of stop right there. I don't think they're ready, and they're probably wasting our time. And if you're a business owner doing this yourself, definitely don't share anything about your business with them. You're putting yourself at risk if you're having those conversations, if they're not ready to share how they can acquire it. And especially if they're saying, don't worry about that, we'll get to that later, they're probably wasting your time. We've had people call in and say, I want to buy a business that makes $300,000 to $600,000 a year cash flow, and they have $6,000. And they want to keep their jobs. This is super common that we hear people that are new to business acquisition. Maybe they saw something online that said, get into a business with no money down. They start calling up and looking for opportunities. God bless them for trying. But when we represent sellers, part of our role is to protect them. And we don't want to waste business owners' time with people that don't have the capacity to consummate the deal. So that's my quick anatomy of a great buyer. To recap, number one, are they singularly focused on the opportunity at hand? Number two, are they fully committed to entrepreneurship and understand the risk and rewards that come with it? Number three, are they local? Are they close to the business they're interested in? And number four, Is there a valid path to payment? When we talk to buyers and they check all those boxes, we roll out the red carpet. We say, hey, I want to advocate for you to the business owner. I want to set up a buyer owner meeting. Send me your bio. Help me sell you to this owner. Let's get this going. Let's see if there's some chemistry, because I like what I'm hearing. I want to see if the owner agrees with me. That's how we proceed. I hope this was helpful. Let me know your thoughts, what you'd like to learn more about on this channel. I'm Neal Isaacs, the Raleigh business broker. Thanks for watching. Till next time, mahalo.